People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of 7 on Twitter and YouTube, people are elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. My soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com. My t-shirt designs, purplebutterfly-people.tmail.com. And as many of you know, I have certain supplies that are in my room under lock and key, like that's where I keep my lye, and certain things that's on a shelf in the main room. Well, in the living room is a soap cutter that was gifted to me by my friend Chauncey, and a big box of stuff that I haven't found a place for. And in the big box was these stainless steel spoons, 5 of them. And people that have issues walk around, see something out of place, and feel compelled to put it up, even though they don't feel compelled to clean up their own mess, but they want to be nosy in my mess. Anyway, they took these out of the spot, out of the box where they were, all the way to the kitchen. Now, I don't know if that has been moved. And my aunt decided for Memorial Day to fry some chicken. And I go in the kitchen going, what smells so good? And I see her holding this. And I went, you can't use that for something? Snatched it out of her hand. Oops. I'm surprised she didn't smack me. Just to find out that this is the one for the house. I was confusing it with this one, which, as you can tell, those are 2 different sizes. Okay? One's much larger. But from a distance, you can't tell the difference. So, of course, I seen this and I panicked because I thought she had one of these, which I use for cooking soap, the kind that has lye, and caustic substances, so forth and so on, that should never ever be used with food. You can wash the dishes very carefully, so forth and so on, and nobody will ever have an issue. I know some soapers that wash their soap dishes and their regular dishes at the same time. In this house, mainly because I have OCD and my brain can't function that way, I have a dedicated soap pot and then my regular pots and pans. I have dedicated stainless steel bowls, spoons, the whole 9, the strainer, so forth and so on, just for soaping. And then if I need spoons, silverware, so forth and so on for cooking and all that stuff, that's separate. In fact, when I decided to soap and I knew I needed stainless steel, I bought a whole set of stainless steel silverware for the house. It has the initial P on it. And all the old pots and pans and the old, well, not pots and pans, the old stainless steel spoons and stuff like that, since it was going to be out of there anyway, that became my soap pots. It became the property of the soap. I already had a stainless steel spoon for the soap because somebody decided, just put it in there, and they got it mixed up. And once it goes, I tell everybody, don't use anything that goes to the soap, because once it hits the soap water or the soap pot, it's mine. Anything that is dedicated to soaping is going to become soap. Anyway, just so that didn't happen anymore, I went on ahead and I took the fabric paint. I wrote the word soap on the back of it, the soap spoon, and then I took the alligator, the battery, the alligator test leads, Let's show you these. I have my brine in here with some cotton. That's salt, water, vinegar. Everybody always says, oh, use salt. Oh no, use vinegar. And since everybody has conflicting views on whether you should use salt or vinegar, or I use both. I just took some salt, took some water, put some vinegar in there. I figured that way, whichever one is going to get the best results, since it's all mixed together in there, it's going to work. I'm trying to find my test lead so I can show you how to do this. There's already a video on how to etch. This might not be clear because it was done in sections, but we're going to go over it real quick. Okay, this is the alligator test lead. They're two separate, you know, they're not the kind that's connected. But you're going to use the red side for positive, the black side for negative. If you got batteries like this, it actually says positive and negative on there. But some of them, like Duracell, it only has a mark where the negative side is, and it has nothing for the positive side. So I'm going to show you this. The negative side is the one that's got the great big old hexagonal thing, and the positive side is the one that's just kind of plain. So what you do is you hook a battery here, hook a battery here. The positive side can be a little annoying because it's really small and it kind of don't fit on there. See what I mean? Let me get that on there right quick. Sometimes, especially if I have a project that I know I'm going to have to, you know, continue on, I'll just go ahead and tape down the positive side. So then you take your positive side and you attach it to the piece. Positive to the piece, negative to the soup. I'm going to show you what that means in a second. Soup means solution. So basically, see how I just attach that anywhere on the piece that you're working on, okay? And then the negative side goes to the soup or solution. So what will happen now is you get the brine with the vinegar and the salt and the water, and you attach the lead to it, okay? Now, where you have the mask that you drew on with the paint or whatever, you just go ahead and tap it anywhere you want it, hold it down for a couple of seconds, and that will etch it. In fact, well, we'll just put a little spot here, okay? You hold it down and you'll see it bubbling, or you'll hear a sizzle, and then you'll see a discoloration. See? It will turn, well, first it turns green, then it turns kind of a murky brown, almost like a cigarette tar looking thing, and then it'll turn black. But either way, you see how that's turning colors? And that's permanently etched. So when I go to wash this spoon, it'll have that little spot there that I just put there doing that. And all it takes is a limited power source. In this case, a 9-volt battery. And this battery is weak by now and it still works. You know what I'm saying? So, it always smells like burnt metal. But that's how you do it. Because this is such a small project, I just literally went over, you know, the spot I needed to with this fabric paint, because fabric paint peels up. And in this case, I just literally, after I was done, put some soap right on top of it and just gave it a quick scrub and it washed completely away. So that way, where's the little one? Ah, there you go. That way this will never get confused ever again with this. See what I'm saying? It's like I don't even have to look from a distance. All I gotta do is flip it over, which is the entire purpose of that. So that way, when people that have dementia, or people that simply don't know, or people that say, "Oh, I seen this in the other room. I decided to help a sister out and take it to the kitchen." Like my aunt, she is new here. She's visiting the city, so forth, so on. She don't know, hey, this is for soap, this is for this. That's for this, that's for that. You know, it's like when you go into the bathroom and hanging up our washcloths, one's for me, one's for my face. Mom has her own little spot for her face stuff and so forth, so on. And we just decided, hey, here's an empty shelf she could use for her stuff. You know, but if somebody decided to go visit and they see this stuff here and that stuff there and that stuff, they're not going to know whose is what. That's the point. Well, she's visiting, you know, even though she's a member of the family, she don't know what I do, you know, or what Mom does, because, well, she could tell you everything she does at her house. This is not her house. Yeah, I can understand that or not understand that. I don't care. Most people get it, other people won't. But, you know, it's like a privacy thing. And if you have certain things that's, you know, that's my spot, don't touch, so forth, so on. And I have all my soap stuff and the stuff that's dedicated away from, you know, prying eyes. That's why I had to lie in the other room under lock and key. That way when people come in this room and say, hey, I thought I'd do you a favor and take that to the kitchen, they're not accidentally touching something that's dangerous. You know, that's just a spoon. I just didn't want them to use the spoon to cook with. And come to find out, I was 360-degree type of wrong. She didn't grab the soap spoon, she grabbed the regular spoon. She seen the soap spoon and went, huh, that's not the one. I'll just put these over here. And the only thing that was a clue that it was not for the food, it was for soaping, is the fact that there was 5 of them stacked up in a row in these plastic sleeves. That's the only way she knew. But that was a clue to me. Hey, you've been meaning to etch them forever. Go ahead and get that done now. So now my soap pot is etched. Same reason, because when she showed up, she didn't know that's the pot I use for making soaps. She asked, why does it have a purple handle? Because that's a soap pot. Okay. And I could see she clearly didn't get it. And I said, Auntie, when I make soaps, I don't use the household pots and pans. I use this pot just for soap. Anything else is for the house. Oh, okay. But, you know, especially since my pot with the purple handles is stainless steel, and the pots we use for cooking is a Rachel Ray set that's actually aluminum. It's got the non-stick stuff, but it's an aluminum pan. If that aluminum fails even a little bit, lye eats aluminum. We don't want these two to mix and go, oops. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I rambled on enough. I showed you how to etch. Where did I go to you again? It's not on that one. There it is. See how quick and easy that was? That's permanent. That's the one that I did when I was talking about it. My nose is itching. So, yeah, I could wash this thing all day long with anything that I got from bleach to vinegar to ammonia to just good old elbow grease, and that's on there permanently. So yeah, and it's all natural. You know, a little salt, little vinegar, some water. You can use baking soda, you know, as long as you have a sodium type brine and a power source, and boom, you're done. You know, you're good to go. So let me move this out the way. That one goes to the kitchen. So that way, nothing here will get compromised when it comes to soap. It's like my Rubios, that's already ready to go. I put it in what do you call that? A filter paper. But I always package my soaps in some shrink wrap. So even though it's in there, it's completely cured, and it's in that little cute format, is now going into a sleeve for shrink wrap, and then it'll be good to go. So there's 10 of them at the ready, because 2 of them are already been sold. And mine is square because, well, that's the overflow. Every time I make Rubio's face soap, one of them is mine. Aunt Faye bought one. Mom usually gets one, and then I have one that's the overflow. And the other 12 are, you know, what goes on sale, and 2 of those are sold. So now there's 10 ready, unless somebody buys them up. I will make more. I've already brewed some Rubio's tea and stuck them in the freezer, you know, so that way when I make the next batch of face soap, you know, you have to use Rubio's tea or coffee the same as you would milk. When you put the lye in there, you're going to sprinkle it on top of the frozen ice cubes, so that way it doesn't burn and discolor, because, well, that's what it will do if you don't take precautions and, you know, soap it in a cool format, in this case being frozen ice cubes, so that way it doesn't shoot the temperature up to 200 degrees. It has to be at a controlled setting. Anyway, we won't go over all that, because by now it's going on 12 o'clock. I'm sleepy. I still haven't taken my medicine, but I'm finna do that now because I'm thinking about it. We don't want to go oops and then, you know, so I already got an unexplained bruise. We ain't gonna even tell the doctor about that, because that joker put me in the hospital for 9 days, and ain't nobody on that either. It's a holiday. I'm going to enjoy it. Even my idea of enjoying is just playing my video game with the do not disturb button on, so that way nobody can go, hey, I was just saying hi, what did you do today? We don't do anything for Memorial Day here because 2 things. One, Daddy is gone, and if Mom starts thinking about Memorial Day, then she starts thinking about the fact that Daddy's not here. Then she starts crying, and that has happened a couple of years in a row, and then she forgets because she has dementia, and then she starts that day over, and then it's just a week of her crying, and we don't want her going through all that, so we just kind of pretend it's a different day. Anyway, it also kind of depresses me too, so I just don't. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Tell people Happy Memorial Day. Oh, that was yesterday. Yeah, you're right. Okay, bye. And then I can just gloss over it and not worry about it again till next year. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been People of 7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. My soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com. And my t-shirt design is purple butterfly -people.tmail.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Bye now.